Warhammer Age of Sigmar Realms of Ruin. What exactly is this game? Is it any good? And more importantly, is it worth the AAA price tag associated with it? Hello and welcome to the Critically Curious. I'm a Monk, and today, yes, we are doing a review for Warhammer Age of Sigmar Realms of Ruin. Now, this game is a real-time strategy game developed by Frontier Developments. It's set in an iconic Warhammer universe where you get to become the warlord and lead 4 unique factions to conquer the wild and savage realms in tactical battles. Now, it should be noted that there are actually 3 main different modes to this game, which is pretty cool. You have got the multiplayer mode, which unfortunately I haven't actually checked out yet. But you do have the conquest mode. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later. That is an interesting mode. But we also have the campaign, where I spent the most of my time within. Interesting side note, the campaign was actually co-written by Black Library writer Gav Thorpe, who of course you may remember from other Warhammer projects. Now, this game is available on Windows. It's also available on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S and X as well. Now, although there are cinematic stories placed throughout the campaign, the majority of this is a real-time strategy game in which you get to organize your troops and lead them against the enemy across the map, winning key points of the map and of course completing objectives. The beginning of the game acts very much as a tutorial. There isn't actually like an inbuilt tutorial here. It's kind of, as you go through the campaign, you'll learn the core mechanics. And the more games you play, whether that be in conquest mode, whether you play the campaign, you will level up your character ID. You'll gain all these extra flashy things for the multiplayer side of it as well. So if you're wondering what that was about, that is there. Now, there is a lot of different creatures and units that you can lead into battle. I think the artwork actually is really good. As you can see, you can actually zoom straight in and have a look at all of the minions that you have at your disposal. All of them are really well done, nice and unique looking. They look really cool. I kind of wish that I could have these models in real life. They look that good. I was quite impressed with just the array of troops at our disposal with the 4 different factions that we have. Hopefully more factions will get brought in over time though. And this ability to zoom in and out with the camera honestly is one of my favorite parts of this game. It probably shouldn't be, but the fact that you can zoom straight in and see your minions, you know, in battle, see it up close and personal, is quite good. I got no frame rate issues from doing that either. I think that sometimes if you would have a lot of troops and you're zooming in, it can really affect the game. It seemed to work absolutely fine, so I'm really glad that that worked well. There was no kind of lag or dispute, because of course you can zoom out and see a top overview of your minions and of course your conquest going on as well. Now, personally, I do like real-time strategy games. I find them a lot of fun, and they're a lot more intense than the turn-based variety that we play a lot on this channel. Within this game, though, I did find it incredibly clunky to actually use my troops. Later on in the game, I learned how to make battalions, and I learned how to swap in and out of troops a lot quicker and a lot easier. I feel like there is a learning curve with this game. I also thought it was a little bit interesting how you could plot out the exact path of the troops too. It's kind of a little bit of a unique feature, I feel. I don't remember too many games being like that. The combat itself was actually pretty smooth. You know, if you pointed your troops in the right place, they would engage in combat. However, every now and again, my troops would also just stand there and allow the enemy to just pout them and destroy them without fighting back. So I felt like the AI logic system perhaps needed a little bit of a tweak there, because it was a little bit frustrating. Obviously, this is a real-time strategy game, so there's no pausing, you know, there's a lot to think of at any one time. So that for me was a little bit frustrating. It just meant that there was a little bit more micromanagement needed with the conquest than I feel like perhaps there should have been. As for the cutscenes and the voice acting, it's all very, very well done. They're clearly going for a distinctive art style, so it looks like they've done a fabulous job. The voice actors have done a great job too, and you get that voice acting all the way through the game. It helps grip the story and bind you to this game. I actually wish there was a little bit more of it as well. I know in a lot of games we say that there's perhaps too much. I feel like we needed a little bit more in this game, but what we got, I thoroughly enjoyed.
If I fail, even fewer will stand to defend Harcanibus.
It's better to die in the attempt than be swallowed by time and dust.
Stormcast! March on.
So be it.
Now, the conquest mode is something I believe we should touch on as well, because the conquest mode is really fascinating. Within the conquest mode, you get to make a map. You get to pick from the 4 different factions the game has to offer, and you get to conquest the map. You're fighting other AI characters, and the events that unfold within your conquest will never happen in any other conquest you do. Every single conquest map you do will be completely unique to you, which means that there is a hell of a lot of replayability, especially as you can play as the 4 different factions the game has to offer. Personally, I think the conquest mode is fantastic. I feel like after you complete the campaign, it's that conquest mode that perhaps the single player focus that guys are going to be spending the most time in, because the opportunities within that are endless, and it's really cool that they've added this. Another feature that I really like is the fact they've actually included a map builder, so you can have a go at not only building your own map, but sharing that for the public for others to play as well. It's these little details within these type of games that allow the player to play, you know, for hours and hours on end. All in all, I've been pretty impressed with the game. There's a few things I would have liked to have seen improved upon. There's a few things that were a little bit off, but for me this was a fantastic real-time strategy game, one in which I've really enjoyed my time in. I'm looking forward to playing more of. I haven't yet experienced the multiplayer, but again, that's something that I want to jump into. Is it worth the AAA rated price? That's the big question. I think value for money in the content that you're actually going to get, it's absolutely worth it. If you enjoy these Warhammer style games, and there are a lot of them, then this is definitely one that you can get stuck into. You're going to be familiar with a lot of the mechanics that it has to offer. And it also offers a few things that are a little bit new as well. Like I said, that conquest mode for me was absolutely fantastic. All in all, I'm going to give this game a solid 7.5 out of 10. And if you've stuck around to the very end of the review, a big thank you to you. Don't forget to comment red banana down below just to confuse all those people that are new to the channel or that didn't watch to the very end. We also have an active and growing Discord, so if you fancy joining, seeing if anyone else actually has this game, the link is down in the description. Or of course you could just join and tell us your experience. But until next time, I've been the Monk, we've been the Curious, and I will see you in the next video real soon. Until then, take it easy and happy gaming.